I'm Larry London. Today, we are joined by singer-songwriter Caroline Jones. Her new CD is called Barefeet, and Caroline co-produced her latest album with the help of Rick Wake, who has worked with Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Trisha Yearwood, and many more. Rick has earned a Grammy and an Academy Award for his career. Caroline Jones plays many instruments, among them the banjo, dobro, and a number of guitars, as you're about to see. Rolling Stone and Billboard have proclaimed her one of country music's rising stars. She's on tour with Kenny Chesney, and Caroline is promoting her newest single, Chasin' Me, which she will perform live on today's show. Please join us as we get up close and personal with one of the hottest artists in today's country music scene, Caroline Jones, on Border Crossings. Hi, I'm Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings. We've got a guest in our studios today joining us and on tour for her brand new album, Barefeet. We'd like to welcome to Washington, D.C., Caroline Jones. It's nice to have you, Caroline.
Likewise, Larry. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you in our studios. Congratulations on all the success. I mean, Billboard calls you a country artist to watch, and you've been doing music for a while now, headlining a tour recently, and so this has got to be a very exciting time for you.
It is a very exciting time. We just came out with a new single, which is called Chasin' Me, and we're about a month in on the Kenny Chesney Songs for the Saints tour. So I'm here in Washington, D.C., opening up 2 shows for him, and that'll go for another few months. And just getting to play music.
Mm-hmm. And you put your first album out in 2010?
I was self-producing and writing my own records, releasing them independently for a few years. And then I teamed up with my current co-producer and manager, Rick Wake, who's produced Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. And when I teamed up with him, I kind of really found my production team and my people. I moved to Florida to make this record, Barefeet, that came out last year. And we co-produced it, and I wrote all the songs and played most of the instruments, and it's really my baby. So we've been touring that for the past 2 years, and I've gotten to open up for a lot of my heroes and tour with a lot of my heroes like Zach Brown and Jimmy Buffett and Kenny and Tim and Faith and the Eagles and Vince Gill. So we've been touring off of that record, and now Chasin' Me is the first song off the next project. Mm-hmm.
And you have lived in, as you mentioned, Florida, but you've lived in a number of places, New York, Connecticut. Yeah,
I grew up in Connecticut. I lived in New York for 10 years. I went to high school and college there, to 2 performing arts schools. And then I moved to Florida. I was supposed to be in Florida for 2 weeks to make this record, and I never left. I fell in love with the ocean and the people there, that I kind of found my creative team there. And so.
Now, it wasn't always country music, though, for you.
Right.
From what I read.
Yeah, I grew up, my dad played a lot of classic rock and classic R&B, like Motown and The Temptations and Earth, Wind & Fire and The Who. And my mom listened to a lot of great like female vocalists of the 90s, like Mariah and Whitney and Celine and Barbra Streisand. And then kind of round out the diverse array of music I studied opera and jazz. So that's kind of was my introduction to the craft of singing and vocalization. So it wasn't until I was 17 that I went to Nashville for the first time at the exhortation of my manager at the time, because I was writing these songs that were kind of pop country songs and I didn't know it, you know? And he was like, you should really go down to Nashville. And he said country is one of the only genres left where songwriting and class and musical integrity and musicianship is really still at the forefront of the genre. And a big emphasis is still placed on those values. And so I went down to Nashville. The extent of country music I knew was like Shania Twain, And I went to a round at the Bluebird Cafe when I was, I think I was like a sophomore, junior in high school. And I was just completely transfixed, and it was such a transformative experience for me, because I never realized that there was a whole genre of music and community of people who kind of felt the same way about songwriting that I did. I mean, I'd loved Jewel and I'd loved Bob Dylan, but this is a real community built around those values and that storytelling aspect. And so I kind of went all the way back to the beginning of country and started listening to Hank Williams and the Carter Family, and I went all the way forward from there, like from the 40s to modern day.
Wow.
And just fell in love with like Emmylou Harris and Vince Gill and Willie Nelson and Keith Urban and just found a lot of my heroes. I kind of feel like country was the missing piece of my artistry. I'd listened to so much other music, and I didn't realize that I was kind of waiting for the missing piece of country.
And country fans are very loyal. It's a different kind of audience than pop fans. Very different audience. I found in talking to all the country people I've had on, they'll follow you through the good times, the bad times, and they are right there for you. I mean, and you develop a different kind of relationship with your fans when you're a country artist. And so when you're writing songs, and you were writing pop at the time, and then you switch to country, what's the difference? Is there a difference in the writing that you do?
No, not really. It was kind of more of an evolution. I was writing kind of pop country songs, and I didn't really realize it, you know? And then when I started listening to country, and especially listening to songwriters like Patty Griffin, and then vocalists like Emmylou Harris, and those sensibilities just started finding their way into my songs because I loved it so much. Similarly, actually, in the past few years, I started listening to a lot more electronic pop music, and some of those elements have found their way into my production. I feel like that's the joy of production and the joy of writing and creating, is you're constantly evolving and new influences are coming into the mix. But actually, rather than completely changing my style, I kind of felt like country completed my style, and listening to country informed and like finalized my identity.
That's cool. I mean, that's really nice that you're feeling comfortable where you are, and you've got your lane. And you're doing it very well, obviously, because you've been on I think it was 15 on iTunes chart with the new album.
With Barefeet, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congratulations on all that. Would you do a song for us?
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to hear you sing live. And this is going to sound acoustic and different than the album, which is what makes this fun and unique. Well, we've got Caroline Jones here.
Yeah, this is a stripped down, and this is Mirzi. He played on the album, and he's my musical director.
All right.
So,
what's this called?
This is called Worth the Wait, and this is a song that's on Barefeet, and this is just a song about not settling in life or in love. I think life's too short, so. I want a man who will call me baby, in the light of day and in the dark of night, when the stars shine for the taking, the kind of love, it's worth the wait. The petals fall year after year as time goes on, and we will search in vain and in fear for the comfort of that fairy tale alchemist who makes our weakness strong, and we mistake this fantasy for love. But I don't need a man who doesn't understand the difference separating need and trust. 'Cause I want a man who will call me baby, in the light of day and in the dark of the night, when the stars shine for the taking. My good is his and his good is mine, is a heart of love that never fades, is a courage far too rare these days. And it's the kind of love, it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. You don't have to be hopeless romantic. Desperation only intervenes, giving we receive beyond what we believe, and love will come. Will you be ready? Will you be ready for a man who will call you baby, in the light of day and in the dark of the night, when the stars shine for the taking? My good is his and his will bring a change around. In the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes. You tell me everything is gonna be alright. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. Ooh, and even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you anyway. It's worth the wait.
Very nice.
Thank
They're
you.
cheering around the world. Caroline Jones in our studios. Now, you sampled a famous song in there.
Yeah. Well, actually, we just made a medley for the live show of those two songs, so we kind of just threw it in there. Yeah.
I like how you did that.
Thank you so much.
They do that in, rap all the time, but country, you don't hear that often.
No, not often. And sampling is more like when you take a short, maybe like a 2-bar loop or 4-bar loop of something and then put it over your song. This is more of a mashup. But, that would be interesting to sample in country. Yeah, you're right. The whole kind of hip-hop genre is built on that.
So when you, you have a radio show, right? You have your own
Yes.
radio show, and you talk to writers, songwriters.
Yeah.
And you ask them what goes in their head in writing and what's involved to them, and you write as well. What is one common theme, one thread that you constantly hear about songwriting? What does it take to write a hit song? What is consistent in every songwriter who's had a hit song? What do you find?
Oh, that's such a great question. I mean, I think dedication and passion to the craft is obviously the thread, because you just have to love it more than anything, and you have to appreciate the craft of it more than anything else. To dedicate your life to a creative endeavor that's kind of uncertain, by nature of creativity, and also like in the world, making a living at it. So I would say that's the thread is passion and dedication and just a love for the craft of songwriting. But creativity and inspiration can manifest in so many ways. That's what I've learned on my radio show, is everyone has a different process. And especially, when you talk to commercial songwriters who have, especially in Nashville, there's kind of the 9-to-5 songwriting format and a co-writing format. And then I talk to a lot of singer-songwriters on my radio show who are artists that write by themselves or in their own right or produce with other people. And so it really varies. The process can vary. And some people are much more consistent in terms of like writing every day and writing in a certain format. And some people are less consistent, but just as inspired. So it's a beautiful thing. It's kind of, the nature of creativity.
What came first for you, the singing or the songwriting?
Songwriting. Well, actually just writing. As soon as I learned to read, I would just write all day. Like I would write poems and stories and talk to myself. And then when I started singing, I realized I could put like all those stories and poems to music and to melody. And then I never wanted to do anything else after that.
Have you gone back and looked at some of the first things you wrote?
Yeah, I was a very like existential child. I've always had like kind of an esoteric heart. So I was writing about like the universe and like the nature of things at a very young age.
A prodigy, very intelligent.
No.
young lady.
I just have been always like very spiritually curious.
And when you started, I assume this new album, you're working with a producer, and the previous albums, which you self-produced, you didn't have a producer. How does that change the approach when somebody else is telling you, I want more of this and less of this? That's got to be difficult, because in the first time, you decided what to do.
It can be. I mean, I can only speak from experience. I found the perfect partner in Rick Wake and the creative team that I have around me. I think I used to think, like you just said, I used to think that I would somehow be compromising my vision if I worked with someone else. And also I was a young person, so I was developing my vision. It's difficult to assert yourself when you don't really know what you want or who you are. You haven't experimented enough or created enough to have a perspective artistically. But Rick is just such a great partner for me because we just complement each other really well. He kind of has this forest for the trees, big picture perspective, and he has enough experience making records to really know how things fit together and which ideas are most compelling, because I tend to have like 1,000 ideas and I want to like throw them all in the track. And so he's really taught me how to simplify and cohere my ideas and refine my ideas. And then the rest of the team has helped me do that sonically and instrumentally and vocally, and to make them come across more powerfully. And so, I think the key is really finding someone who understands and wants to accomplish your vision with you instead of doesn't understand your vision, and then that's when you have a clash. So like Rick really, I feel like we're really on the same page in terms of our creative vision. So when we disagree, there's there's a third thing that will come out of it that's better than what either of us would have come up with on our own.
And you've been touring now with some of the biggest names in music. Has anybody given you advice along the way? Jimmy Buffett, Tim McGraw, all of these people, have anybody come to you and said, Caroline, fill in the blank?
Yeah, I mean, they have, but honestly, it's more of a leading by example thing, that I just to be able to watch the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they, being a superstar on these big tours is a big leadership position. There's a lot of responsibility. You're setting the tone, you're setting the vibe and the energy for hundreds of people that work on the tour, and then hundreds of thousands of people that come see the tour, the fans. And so I've just noticed this common thread of that they all stand for something. They all kind of have a message or an identity artistically, and everyone that works for and with them understands it and feels it and is in on it, like it's like a team. And then everyone who comes to see the show wants that, like they're craving that. And so it's a beautiful kind of unifying experience, but it all is centered around a singular artistic perspective, that artist has and gives to the world.
And you said that they stand for something, and beyond the music and the message in the music, charity is a big part. And the heart is smart.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So that's how I started my career. I started, I had moved to New York, and I was starting to kind of produce and write my own songs, and I was kind of hopping in the New York City bar scene, and I was like, I don't want to play for like drunk people anymore. And also it's really hard because I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but in New York, I didn't have any fans, I wanted to get in front of people, and they make you like bring people or you have to pay to play. And I was like, I don't have, who am I going to bring? Like my mom and my, you know what I mean?
Why not?
And so I was trying to find a way to get in front of people and to develop a fan base. And so I started booking myself, cold calling schools. And I started booking myself at boarding schools and colleges and private schools. And I would make up, a resume and stuff. And then, but it actually worked because then I ended up touring schools for about 5 years, and I developed, because at the end of I would play a show, an intimate show like this, and then the students would come up to me and say, I write songs too, can I play you my song? Or how do you hit a high note? Or how did you write this verse? Or I want to learn to play guitar, but I don't have one, or what should I do? Or I don't know where to start. And so it just kind of snowballed into this kind of masterclass program where I would do these workshops. I would come and perform, and then I would do these little workshops with the students, because I wasn't that much older than them. I was only 4 or 5 years older than them, so it kind of felt attainable to them that they could play music and write songs.
To you.
Yeah. And so I ended up seeing about 200,000 students over 5 years. I teamed up with a philanthropic foundation, and then I got to go and tour underserved communities and some of the lowest SES areas in America. So it was really cool because I got to perform for literally the kind of lowest SES schools in America, and then some of the best schools in America, and just interact with all kinds of kids, of all ages, and nothing will humble you like 2-year-olds picking their nose while you're singing. Do you know what I mean? So it was such a good experience. It was so much fun. It's something I want to continue to do. I'm a ambassador for the Grammy Music Education Coalition, and I'm really passionate about music education and just arts education in general.
Well, God bless you using this platform for such great reasons. So.
It's my pleasure. I don't feel like it's charity work. I love it. I love kids.
Would you do another song for us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Are we doing Chasing Me?
Yeah. Caroline Jones is in our studios. Barefeet is the name of the new album. She's on tour And I want to find out more about this tour, if the tour is going internationally, but we'll ask you that after you pick a guitar. And this whole box of guitars, this is kind of cool. She came with 4 different guitars here, but I know you play the banjo and the dobro, which I don't see there.
No, we didn't bring that today. You know, the dobro is hard to play, like, by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, in this kind of setup, it's not
right.
the best.
Requires a little bit more behind you.
Yeah, it's better in the context of a band.
Yes,
and
you want to jam. It's hard to jam by yourself with the dobro.
But in terms of international, we actually just went overseas and played shows for the first time at C2C.
Great.
Did you turn up the reverb?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And we played in Dublin, Ireland, Glasgow, Scotland, and London, England.
Wow.
And it was so fun. It was such a great experience. And the people over there were so into the songwriting and the storytelling. And then my record is coming out in Australia. So I hope to go there because half my family's Australian. My mom is from Australia.
Good day.
So I know. G'day, mate. So that's like my next, I would love to go there and play.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be the new single, or is the new
so
single?
this is my single. It's called Chasing Me. And the music video just came out.
I watched the video.
You did? Did you like it?
Yeah. Well, it's, I think, Cody.
Isn't
Cody
it
Walker's-
romantic, Cody
It's
Walker?
and it's continuing story from another video,
Exactly,
right? You're
from the
telling a
difference.
whole story.
Yeah, there's a
But he finally
two-part.
gets you at the end. I mean, there you are
Exactly.
looking to the sunset and the ocean and whatnot. So he finally catches you.
Yes, finally.
So then there's
he had
not
to
gonna
go
be-
across the entire continent of North America.
2 cars.
to do
driving
it, but he did.
So there's not going to be a next, or is there a next?
No, what happens after that is in your imagination.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, this song is called Chasing Me, and this is just a song about I'm kind of an old-fashioned girl, and these are kind of the values that I was raised on and that I still really believe in when it comes to love. So it's called Chasing Me.
I've never given anyone a chance at my heart. Mama always said it was a treasure to guard. And the man who's worthy of giving it to will stick around long enough to prove it to you. But now I'm the one who's losing my cool. Butterflies make me feel like a fool. Always been the one in control, but that boy just does something to my soul. He's chasing me down every road like my heart is a map he can read. He's chasing me round every bend. At the end, he's right there waiting for me. He's chasing me. He's chasing me, and I hate to admit, but I like it a little bit. He's chasing me. He says I ain't getting away from him now. I am the woman he's been dreaming about, and he says it don't matter how long he has to wait. He'll sleep outside of my bedroom door in the pouring rain. And now I'm the one who's good to giving.
Thank you so much.
beautiful, beautiful song.
Thanks.
What's your octave range? I mean, you must be hitting some pretty high notes there.
I do. I have a good range from opera. That's where that comes
You ever
from.
try to break glass?
No, I haven't tried to break glass, but I remember when I was little and I was first starting opera, I would stand on this table and there was a chandelier in my parents' house and I would kind of see if I could shake it.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I did.
And
You
the neighbors
can.
probably
It's
called
all,
too.
It's a frequency.
You're shaking our chandelier again.
It's a frequency thing. Like if you get to enough, if you get to a high enough note, the overtone series, the frequencies that's what is affecting the glass.
Well, I love your voice.
Thank you so
and
much.
your energy and
Thanks.
everything about you. And you look beautiful in the video. Any acting aspirations? Is that something you want to do eventually, or?
I don't know. I love being on stage, and I love making videos. I love being in front of the camera, but I really love music. Like I'm so consumed with it, and there's so many like aspects of my craft that I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of, like production and instrumentation, and my craft as a musician and singer songwriter. That is, I feel like I have so much to do with that I don't know how I could like dedicate myself to another craft. But you never know.
You
I
never
don't know.
Doors always open.
Yeah.
What about highlights so far for you? Because you're not brand new at this. You've been doing this so well. So what's been the highlight?
I feel like it sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like my life and my career it's like a continual highlight because I get to do what I love and I'm doing it on a bigger and bigger platform and on bigger and bigger stages, and I'm doing it on my own terms authentically. And so that's what I always dreamed of. And so to get to be on these big tours and be in front of thousands of people and to be building a fan base, I'm truly enjoying the journey because I'm making the music that I want to make. And so the whole thing feels gratifying. I mean, getting on some of these big tours is surely a highlight for me, and like being able to duet on stage with some of my heroes is a highlight. But the real privilege and joy is just being able to do what I love.
And you do it so well.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, the album Barefeet, why did you call it Barefeet?
Kind of two reasons. I moved to Florida to make the album, and I'm always in my bare feet. And then I moved to a place where I can always be in my bare feet. Like I never have to wear shoes, which is so nice. And I just got really inspired by the beach and the ocean, and I've always been inspired by nature. And so I kind of used bare feet in that song as a metaphor for just living like your most natural, happy, authentic life. And Barefeet is just kind of my mission statement as a person of the kind of person I want to be and how I want to walk into the world and how I want people to feel when they listen to my music.
We have time for one more song?
Yeah,
Speaking of listening to your music, so if you wouldn't mind doing one more for us.
No. Y'all have to kick me out.
We're not going to kick you out. Stay as long as you want. How many instruments do you play? I know you got the harmonica, which is not here, but that's a little easier to conceal. But, what else do you play?
We have so many Godins, I lose track of which is in which tuning. That's why we have so many guitars, by the way, because I like to play in different tunings.
Uh-huh.
So, it goes in the bridge. Instruments, I play piano, acoustic, electric, dobro, banjo, and harmonica.
Self-taught?
Basically. I mean, I took piano lessons when I was little. But I don't know if anyone is like really self-taught. These days with YouTube and then all the music that I kind of have studied, like in country, and all the I got to go to Nashville when I was in my early 20s and be around the studio musicians there and just like soak that in and see what a human being is capable of with these instruments. So I feel like I kind of created my own college with it, and I still am, but it's true. Like all those things, if you really love it and you study all these people, and it's like an education in itself.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what are you going to sing?
So this is a new song. It's called The Line. I'm just going to take these off because.
All right.
But they're so pretty. Get one more look.
Yeah.
You want to wear them here? You can wear them.
The Caroline Jones baubles available at...
Baubles, Bangles, and Beads. This is a new song called The Line, and it's just a song about kind of when you're first falling in love and you're not sure if you can trust it, like that kind of anticipatory phase. And we've been playing it live, so...
I don't remember now. I can almost taste the words that you haven't said out loud. Oh, it's a rush. And what if I call you in the middle of the night when I want you? And so what, baby, what if I take up your heart, messing with your mind? Yo, I know it's been a year in the making, heaven in a snow globe, baby love, we shaking up the whole world now. Shadow of a doubt, but we lighting it up, another night, another crowd. I ain't in it for the fame or the glory, I ain't even in it for the story. I'm just doing it right and doing it well, loving my life and giving them hell.
Beautiful. That's
Thank
great.
you. Thank you so much.
Caroline Jones is the future of country music right here, rapping inside of country music. Yeah.
Do you know that's the first time I've ever done that?
Wow.
We wrote that backstage, or we worked it out backstage, and then we're going to put it in, though.
Yeah, there you are. A worldwide premiere right now.
A worldwide
This
premiere.
is a first.
Of me as a rapper.
We're very, very fortunate to be your platform,
Oh,
Caroline. Thank you for coming in and joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love this kind of stuff. This is so fun for
Now,
me.
people around the world want to get the album. Where do they go?
They can go anywhere that music is sold digitally. It's on all digital platforms, and my new single, Chasing Me, is as well. And I have a bunch of music videos on YouTube. I love my music videos, so go check those out, too.
And they can join your YouTube channel, I guess? Yes.
And then all my socials are Caroline Jones, I-N-E, Caroline
Caroline Jones.
Yeah.
And then do you have a website, too?
Yep, CarolineJones.com. It's all... We tried to make it
Keep
as
it simple,
simple
right?
as possible. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for coming on.
Thank you, Larry. Really appreciate
What
it.
a pleasure to meet you. Caroline Jones, Barefeet is the name of the new album. Rolling Stone, Billboard, they're all talking about her. Get the album. My name's Larry London. This is Border Crossings.